Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and today I am here to talk about
Rick and Morty video content!
I'm actually required to stand by court order on chairs whenever I have to say that line, so I'm sorry about that. I'm also court ordered to wear sunglasses indoors at all times, so let's begin this video. Today I wanted to do what I usually do on this fucking channel, and that is to look at media, and in this case Rick and Morty, in more interesting and unique ways. My job as a video content creator is not to make my own content, but to make you look at other people's content in more unique ways. And in this case, I wanted to talk about our favorite elderly drunk man, and that is Rick Sanchez. And Rick, like all elderly drunk men, is actually secretly the most intelligent person in the entire universe. And I was watching a podcast the other day by the Wisecrack guys. If you don't watch their videos, they make a lot of analysis videos. They're really good. They're better than anything I could ever make. I'll have a link down to their podcast that made me think of this idea. But the idea got brought up that how much money does Rick have? And at first I was like, that's a stupid fucking question. And then, after 5 minutes later, I was like, that's a really good fucking question. Because initially I thought, does it really matter how much money Rick Sanchez has? Does money even matter in this universe? So I thought about it. I was like, okay, if Rick wanted anything, he could just obtain that item. It's like, why would you buy a pizza when you could just steal the pizza off the shelf, as he has already done? And the more I think about that, the more I have to think, well, Rick isn't as fucking immortal and impenetrable as we like to make him believe. He's been, in lots of instances, risking his own life, and in lots of instances needs to get out of binds. And he's like a secret agent half the time, but it's like, whenever he's in that secret agent mode, he may or may not need money. You know, what if he's on some secret mission with his portal gun taken and he needs to get out of such and such? It would come in handy to have a fucking bank account with all the universe's currency in it, which seems more than plausible for him to do. So, the question is, has he actually invested the time to do this? And right away, you might be thinking, why does it even matter? Money is not important to a person's characteristics and self-worth at all. And to that I would say, if you look at most people, you can look at their bank account, personality, and dreams. That'll tell you everything you need to know about them. And in this case, I feel like we understand Rick on a very personal level. So it's hard to tell sometimes, because if a billionaire walked into a room, let's say you're a fucking billionaire, you're gonna act a little bit differently and thus change your personality due to your environment. You are a product of your environment, as is everyone else, as is Rick. So why can't we figure out this man's bank account? I do remember reading one of the comics where Rick said he's basically going to turn Morty rich. Like, if he can train a monkey to become a billionaire, then he's much more powerful than if he was a billionaire, you know? And so that made me think, oh, well, I guess he's a billionaire. But at the same time, if he's a fucking billionaire, why is he living in this fucking house with his fucking daughter? His daughter, who he can upgrade a house to. Like, he's still living there. He's still putting his head to sleep down at night in this house, or so we assume. So it's like, why not get a fucking nice bed while you're at it? You have the fucking entire universe and all of its quadratic fucking multiverses. That's the word I'm looking for. You have all of that. Why can't you get a nice bed, Rick? Why are you fucking making all this in the garage? Why don't you have like a science lab the size of Texas or some shit? I think that all comes back to, like, people would argue, oh, he needs to be in touch with Morty and Morty's mom isn't gonna let him leave. But at the same time, I don't think he needs Morty as much as we think he does. It's kind of just more of a personal, he's glued to Morty for whatever reason kind of thing. And usually a lot of the shit that Rick does can lead to him getting in trouble. Sure, he could just teleport into a dimension and steal whatever his desired item is, let's say a pizza, but a lot of the times you're gonna get shot in the face immediately in some universes, I bet. Like, why risk all that sometimes? You have time infinitely, assumably, on your hands. So it's not hard to just grab some money and make your life a little bit easier. And if you have the time, then who cares? I guess this would tie into one of like the infinite amount of like Rick and Morty like questions. I would be like, oh, why doesn't Rick just make himself younger and make his life easier? But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, he probably doesn't give a shit. Like half the shit that we think about, Rick does not give a shit. This is a man who's addicted to whatever fucking life he's living, however crazy it might be, and he's just gonna traverse forward. So, as much sense it would make for him just to steal some money, at the same time, I think the real question is, does he even give a shit enough to have money? He's the exact opposite of a rational human being. From your guys' perspective, what would you do if you were handed $1 billion, and let's say you use that billions of dollars to then obtain a portal gun and whatever else Rick's powers are? He's like a fucking superhero. If you had all that power, would you invest in getting another $1 billion? Would you even waste time in that? What would you do if you just obtained that power? What would be the first thing you do? That would be my like YouTuber ask you guys a question, you fucking comment about it for the day. What would you do? And while you're down there, feel free to fucking smash that like button. That was today's video. Everyone enjoys a good quickie now and then. How about you guys? What are some more Rick and Morty theories, video ideas you may have? What are some more topics you would like me to cover? What the fuck did you eat for breakfast today? I want to know about it down below. Subscribe and shit. Anyway, take care. You guys rock, and with that, I leave you. Wubba lubba dub dub.